So how to manage money when your back's against the wall. And I want to start talking about your worst. I've got to press record. Have I? I have recorded. Yeah. I want to start talking about your worst enemy in this situation. And that is basically you and what your head is telling you. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do is control your feelings. And you inevitably, you get caught with shame. You know, you owe people money. You should never be in that position. Inadequacy about, you know, I'm not good enough. Other people don't do this. And then guilt, the guilt kicks in. So all these things land on you. And in order, the difficult part is that in order to deal with debt, you have to be showing control and confidence with all the people that you talk to and all the things that you do. So the first thing that you've got to remind yourself of is that this might be where your business is now, but it isn't the sum total of who you are. So a business is not you. A business is a commercial enterprise which is set up in order to make money. And this is kind of where you will always hear me talking about businesses about making money, because as soon as you bring in all the good things that you've wanted to do, if your original drive was, I want to change the world, I want to make sure everybody's green, I want to help people. I mean, all these things are great, but you invest an awful lot of you in those things. And when you're playing with sums of money, it's actually much, much easier if you deal with business as a machine that is about juggling money about. So I don't know if you've got me there, but what I'm saying is that as soon as you take things personally and emotionally, it affects how you deal with everything. So if it's a business and it goes wrong and you've got investors involved, all you could have done was your best. And as long as you're convinced that you've done your best, none of those descriptions of you that I put in that last slide are relevant. Okay, and I think we all go into this with our hearts and souls and as honest people, and we want to do well. So from my experience, when I've worked with investors and we've hit problems, none of them have ever blamed me for the problem, because I have always demonstrated that I will work all the hours under the sun and do everything that I can in order to make the business work. And it's the same when you're dealing with banks. All you can do is your best, and you simply have to keep telling yourself that. And in order to do your best, you have to hold yourself together, put on your big girl's knickers, and go out there and just go out there with confidence. Okay, so the things that you've got to, if it helps any, the greatest entrepreneurs have all failed at least once, because failure is a very positive experience, providing you learn from it. You also need to look at your life, your past, and I think most of us will know that we've been in worse places before and we got through it. And somebody once said to me, and it really registered, that, even the worst, you find yourself in the worst situations in the world. If you look back at all the situations you've been in your life, you got through them, you came out the other side. So it's inevitable that you will, and you'll come out stronger, and you might come out changed, but you will come through it. So it's not the end of the world. Even if the absolute worst happens, providing you've got a roof over your head, it's not the end of the world. And the other thing to understand is that if you behave honorably, whoops, hang on, what am I doing here? If you behave honorably and openly with people, and you're dealing with business people and banks and money people, they will respect you for it. And they will understand that this is business and things go wrong in business. I mean, so much has gone wrong for so many businesses at the moment. You can imagine that the amount of bad energy that's out there, but you need to behave honorably and honestly. Okay. All right, so what do we do when, you know, the world's falling on our heads? So many people hide under the duvet. You know, they don't open envelopes. They don't want to confront what's happening to them. And in my experience, you need to face things head on. So you need to deal with things and you need to take action. So feeling sorry for yourself and worrying never got anybody anywhere. So you've got to make a plan and you've got to take action. So these are the steps that you've got to take. So the first thing you've got to do, as we've said, is manage your state of mind. Who have we got here? We've got Michelle here. And the second thing that you've got to do is keep your creditors in the picture. Now, actually, difficult times have given us something valuable, and that is that it's quite hard to get credit from suppliers. So I would imagine that most of you are paying and charging for things up front, rather than being in a situation where you get deliveries and you pay people in 28 days, which is how it was when I was running a business. But if you are in that situation, or you owe your bank or you owe anybody, you need to keep communicating with them, because as soon as you don't respond or you're hiding, that's when they will start to panic. So if you can do a deal with a creditor, and even if you can't, you simply have to state what is going on, how you're planning to get out of it. They don't want to see that you're in a state and that you're upset. This is, again, this is a woman's thing. We're very good, or we have historically been quite good at using our vulnerability. But they don't want to see that. They want to see that you are totally confident and that you've got a plan and that you know you're going to get out of it, because what they want to see is that they're going to get paid back. And a creditor will not foreclose on you or try and bankrupt you unless you are not communicating with them or clearly making promises that you don't keep. So you simply need to keep them in the picture and be straightforward with them. Now, when you're prioritizing debt, always put your personal security first. Quite simple. Business is business, personal security comes first. And then the last thing that you have to do is set out a plan, working out how you're going to increase your cash flow and get yourself out of this situation. Oops, where's my arrow gone? Ah, there we go. Okay, so this is what you should do. Talk to somebody outside of your situation, because you're going to be so wrapped up in it. And talk to somebody who can look at the situation that you're in coldly, honestly, and can take a view on what has created the problem. I mean, obviously, you should have done this as well. You can't trade if you're insolvent, but you know, if you're going through a cash flow crisis, that's actually quite different to being insolvent. So you need to have somebody else look at what's going on in your business and see how they view it. Because if they think it's a no-hoper, and they tell you so, you might have to look and consider that. If they think that you can juggle, then hopefully you can juggle. So, I mean, an accountant is obviously a key person that you should be talking to, or just a trusted business friend who you trust enough to give them a really, really open, honest view of your business and your books, so they can see what's going on and come up with some suggestions for you. Now, this is the time where you have to hustle for sales. And interestingly, I mean, for me, I'm actually somebody who's always suffered from the fact that when my back is against the wall financially, that's the time I can make great things happen, because it's perfectly possible to change that negative energy into something positive, because it's something that is going to propel you and drive you forward to making your business work, and quickly. So this could be a time when you can start approaching people that you haven't been brave enough to approach before. So you need to hustle for sales. And so that can be really, really positive. If things are actually, I'll put that one last, but also look at what you've got in your business. So if you've got existing stock, create special offers with it. And when you're paying people, pay the people that you need most. So you pay, if you rely on a particular supplier for, to allow you to produce your goods, no matter who is banging on your door, or which people you really like and would like to pay, or which people you feel extremely guilty about, the people you should pay are your key suppliers. All right. Oh, I think that was it. I think I've missed a slide. Hang on. Yeah. So the biggest mistakes that you can make are to stop marketing. And I've seen this so many times. The money's run out, and what people tend to do in that situation, or quite often do, is that they shrink. So instead of going out there and trying to attract business, they become small and start to penny pinch, and stop spending any money on things that will move their business forward. So I'm not suggesting that you go out and spend willy-nilly, but actually when things are bad, that is the time that you need to spend money on marketing. And you have to make a call. You might have a credit card. I mean, you know, hopefully we've got to the stage where we've still got some credit somewhere. And you've got to think how best to spend your remaining money. And it's always going to be, if you've got stock, that decision has always got to be spending your money on creating sales. And the one thing that would do that is marketing and promotion. So you don't cut back on your ads, you don't cut back on your PR during this time. That's probably the last thing that you cut back on. People imagine that their items are not selling because of the price, and that is usually a total misconception. So it's okay to cut your prices by doing special offers on your best sellers, or by bundling stock together, because it's really, really important that you keep stock turning over. But it's not a good idea to say, oh, well, if I sell it cheaper, people will buy it, because they won't. And what you do in those circumstances is that you devalue your whole brand. So you have to think creatively. Your task is to get your brand out there. Your task is to make more people want to buy it. And you're not going to do that by cutting your prices, unless you're in a really sort of amenities market. Now, don't consider introducing new products at this time, because introducing new products costs you a lot of money. And if you can't sell the old ones, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to sell the new ones. You have to focus on squeezing all the value you can out of what is around you. Okay, or here's Terrier. Terrier's come in. So you want to do that. You want to look at what you've got and look at how you can repackage it or remarket it to get it out there. And I make the point again here, so I can't see this because I put this menu in front of it. I make the point again here that if you owe a number of people money, the temptation is going to be to pay off the people you like rather than the people you need. And I know this sounds really hard, and you might be sitting there thinking, oh, well, I know she's a single mum and she's got, you know, I've got to pay her. Actually, what you've got to do is pay the people that are going to keep you in business. All right. And that's a hard business decision, but your job is to make your business strong and sustainable. And the best way that you're going to be able to support people going forwards is to do whatever it is necessary to get to that point. Okay. All right. So any questions? Did I say anything anybody didn't know there? Hang on, let me stop sharing the screen. Don't know where. Oh, someone else, Kajir's come in. Everybody's coming in now. Just Kajir, well, you're too late. Hang on. How do I stop sharing? Oh, stop share. Okay. Okay, so we got a full house here. Is everybody contemplating being broke? That's what I want to know. Why have you all come? Okay, so tell me, ladies, have any of you been in this situation or are in this situation? Hang on. No?
No.
Michelle? Hello, Michelle. You don't join us very often. It's nice to see you.
Hi.
Hi. So Terry is saying, hi, Terrier. Terrier is saying that she's hired people she likes before rather than people she needed. And that's a really hard business one. And that's a lesson I learned quite early on, except I came from the other end, because if you're isolated, this is a completely different issue. It's not really about money, but I've found that if you are a solopreneur and you're isolated, the tendency is to be absolutely desperate to work with somebody that you can relate to and share everything with and feel confident about. And often we will put how we feel about somebody or how much we like somebody before what their solid skills are. And that's a big mistake in business. The people that you work with are your colleagues, but they're not your friends. And as soon as you make them your friends, you've got some issues going on. I promise you, I've been there so many times. Really, really difficult. So that's another hard. I mean, I think we really have to toughen up when we're going to run a business, and all the things that we would do on a personal level are different. It's different judgment calls, and particularly if you're working with other people's money, because then you have a responsibility to your bank or your investors to run this like a business, not like a friendship club. Okay, so that's something that you really need to take on board. So anybody, Khadija, what about you? Have you ever been in a difficult situation?
No, well, about money?
Mm.
Not really. Yeah.
That's good. So how do you fund your business? I'm interested to know, are you funding, have you set aside a little pot of money to fund your business with? Or do you?
Not really.
Go on.
I'm working from what I make, I decide that's what I'm using. If I need ingredients and stuff, and I put some money aside for that. But I haven't really put like set amount that's what I'm going to put aside. Maybe this year coming, I'll start to do that.
Okay, so you put some money aside from your working income.
Yes.
Okay. So if you do that, what happens if you suddenly need more? What do you do?
I've not really thought about it that way, and I've been trying to really like discipline myself, and just get what I need, for now for the business.
So you wouldn't be tempted to use a credit card or whatever?
No. I use my credit card as a debit. Once I have the money in the account, that's what I use. If I don't have it, I don't use it.
Okay, so let's just say that a big opportunity knocks on your door. Like a major magazine wants to do a feature on you, I don't know, an advertorial, which I don't like, but supposing something comes up that you feel in your heart will help your business move forward, and you don't have the money in the bank to do it, what do you do? What sort of judgment call do you make on that? So I'm looking at Julie. I think we've got Julie here twice, and Michelle, and Terrier. I'd love to hear from you how you manage that sort of situation.
Probably like what is it, family money, family love, is that how they call it? Love money.
Would you say to yourself, no, I can't afford to do that? Or would you look for a way to raise the money and do it?
Yes, I can look for ways to raise the money, but I don't know how, but I can look for ways to raise the money.
Would you?
Yes, I would.
You would look for ways to raise the money if an opportunity came up?
Yes, I would.
Okay, is that the same for all of you?
Yes, definitely.
Who was that?
Yes.
Michelle?
Julie.
Julie. Yes, Julie. Sorry, I've switched off the video. I'm in the car.
Okay.
But, yes.
Michelle? I don't know if Michelle is actually with us. Perhaps not.
She's writing and she said yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
She said yes.
Terrier's saying she doesn't think she would.
I think so. Yeah.
You wouldn't think about raising money, so you just would pass on the opportunity, Terrier. Yeah.
Okay, she only service-based business.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, supposing you had the opportunity to be the head runner in a conference that was going to hit thousands of people, but you had to pay a big chunk of money to get that to be put on top of their list, what would you do?
Can see smart, but I'm not.
Okay, you're up. No, she's sidelining me. Okay, you definitely should find the money, but would you? So you see, I mean, I'm a sort of classic. I've probably told you this story before, but before I really started serious, when I first moved to France and I'd written all my books and I'd sold my business and what have you, and I moved to France, and then I spent an absolute fortune on my house, absolute fortune on my house, to the point where I knew that I was going to have to get back to work, and I sort of didn't know quite what I should be doing, and I knew I had a great history, but I didn't know what I should be doing. And I enrolled in a coaching program that at the time cost me something like $8,000, I think, which at that point was a lot of money. And on top of the $8,000, I had to fly to Sydney, Los Angeles, Miami, and Paris, and stay in 5-star hotels. And I had to have the wardrobe to match. And I did this on a whim. I did this because I knew it was right for me. And I remember my kids saying, what the hell are you doing? And I put the whole thing on a credit card at the time. And it was actually the best thing that I ever did. By taking that leap and living my intention, it I don't know, it just jogged something in me that was the best thing that I could possibly do. And ever since then, I've never worried about money at all, because I know I can always make it. It sort of gave me the confidence that you can always, one way or another, you can always make it. So the last thing on that list that I put was look at your skill set. If you're in trouble, was look at your skill set and consider, and this is absolutely last resort, but consider taking a part-time job or selling a skill that you've got in order to keep the wolf from the door, but sell a minimum amount of your time to do that. So don't go drifting into taking full-time. I mean, the things that I'm talking about here are things that I've dealt with several of my clients who have hit difficult times, because everybody does at some point. And it's about the decisions you make when you confront those difficult times that distinguish the girls from the entrepreneurs. All right. So an entrepreneur looks at a situation, weighs up the odds instinctively and logically by looking at the numbers, and also, if you've got good judgment, or you know you've got good judgment, looking at how it feels, and will then take a leap and worry about where the money's coming from later. The person who's not an entrepreneur will look at the risk element, will take a part-time job doing whatever they can, and will be worrying about the pennies rather than looking at the potential of creating large amounts of money. Which type are you? I wish some more of you were in here, but who are you?
I'll go for it. I'll go for it.
You'll go for it. Great.
I'll take a leap of faith. Yes, I definitely will do that. Yeah.
Lisa,
I know I'll make it.
You'll make it happen. Lisa, I know you'll go for it.
Yeah.
In fact, most of you will go for it. The only person I don't know about is Michelle here, because I'm not sure she's actually here. But do you get scared about your business? I mean, it's much easier for Terrier because, as she said, she's running a service-based business. So she's selling herself and her skills. Whereas when you've all got big investments or got to make big investments in product.
Yeah.
But Lisa, Lisa's just actually renewed her coaching program with me, which was a big investment for her. I mean, what goes through your mind when you make an investment like that?
I suppose all of the things you talked about. I did worry about it, but I think I know you'll get me where I want to be. And
you'll get you'll get this is the point.
We will get there.
You will get there. You will get where you want to be, but you know that you've got someone that's got your back and that's steering you in the right direction. But it's about you getting you where you'll be.
Yeah.
And it's about knowing that you'll get where you be is why you might take a risk like that. I mean, look, I'm really not trying to sell a program here. I'm just talking about, because I've done it myself, as I've said, I'm talking about that experience of feeling that something is worthwhile and then moving hell and high water in order to do it. And you know, ironically, it's ridiculous, but I think this is such a big issue for people, and this is actually one reason why I keep my rates up high, because I know what it costs to build a business, and I feel that those people that make that investment and take that risk are the people that are going to succeed, because they've got the right mindset. I mean, you know, I'm quite confident about what I do, but they've got to be confident about me. But if somebody is coming in worrying about every penny they're spending, I know that they're not an entrepreneur. I know that they're risk averse. And if they're worrying about what they're spending on me, then they're going to be worrying every step of the way going forwards. It's a psychological thing, but it's interesting. yeah, so if they find the money, then it's a big step, and it's a big step in the right direction. Not because not if they're spending it on me, but to spend it on anything, to spend it on a trade show. You know, you might know that you're at a time in your business where you should be doing a trade show, but you've got no money. Well, actually, that trade show will get the sales for you. If you do it right and you do it well, that's the way you're going to get the money. You're not going to get the money by cutting back on your marketing. You know, what's that going to do for you? It might save you a few pennies. It might save you a few pounds in the very short term. But it isn't going to save you money. It isn't going to create anything for your business. It's going to reduce your business. It's a hard lesson, isn't it? Because common sense tells us, don't spend what you know, we're brought up, most of us are brought up, don't spend what you haven't got. You know, don't, you know, don't use credit cards, don't whatever. But it's all about your belief in what you're doing. And I'm not talking about spending fancifully. I'm talking about spending with the belief that that spend is going to make you money. Julie, is Julie still there? I don't know.
Yes, I'm still here, Melinda.
Julie, how are you feeling? I know that you're looking at your, you know, your big investment disappearing for you at the moment.
Yes.
So tell me about your experience of this.
Well, indeed, my family is invested on me. So what you talked about initially is very true. You need to look at it from a business point of view and not from a personal point of view, and make sure it's understood that way, that we are making an investment for the future and it's business. And indeed, so I knew what sort of budget I had initially, and I'm trying to make the right decision to ensure that you know, the decision I take and what I invest in are going to help me move forward, and eventually launch the business and make it you know, make it a success at some point.
Actually,
And,
this thing about, I mean, we've discussed, I know in our one-to-ones we've discussed this quite deeply, this issue of when friends and family invest in you. And because there's a sort of double guilt thing that goes on. If anything goes wrong, it's become personal. It's become to some degree personal. And I think you always, this is why when people are going to go to family for a loan or an investment, I always say, do a business plan and present it to them in the same way that you would to any other investor, because then it's up to, no, you should never accept anybody investing in you because you're family. You know, they should invest in they need to have as much belief in what you're doing and in your project and in your planning as you do. So they're sharing the risk. They might be in a better position to spend money on it, but they need to look at it from a removed point of view. I think that's incredibly important, because otherwise you can end up losing friends as well. And that's the last thing on earth you want. So once you've done that, then they are grown up enough to make their own decisions about whether they think it's going to work. Yeah, if they can see the figures and they can see the plan and they make a decision based on that, then the responsibility, other than running the business to your best ability, falls back on them. Yeah, and I mean, I always felt with my investors that often with investors it's a tax loss anyway, but that's beside the point. So take special care when you're dealing with family and friends to present them with a business proposition, not the opportunity to help out a friend. Yeah. Julie, you've got through that, haven't you?
Yes, yes, I've got through that, and as you said, my initial, I did write a business plan, and so I didn't just ask for that investment. It was very clear what it was going to be for, and as well, it was very clear as to how long it would be for, how long the loan or the investment would be for. So that helps as well. It means I don't have to worry about it now, but as you said, it also means for me that I feel I have to succeed. I have no choice, because this is indeed not my money I started with, and I need to at some point reimburse the people who believed in me.
And do you think that you would have the same feelings about obligation if you'd got the money from a bank?
I don't think I would feel the same, to be honest. And that's
you should.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yes.
That's my point. I mean, what you know when a bank lends you money is that they've taken a really cold, hard, unemotional view of your business plan.
Yes.
But with a family, you always feel, well, they're only doing this because I'm, because I'm family. If somebody else came to them with the same proposition, they wouldn't do it. And I think it's really important that when you're dealing with family or friends, that they view it as a business plan, just as a business plan. And then that obligation goes from you. Yeah. Anyway, I'll just plant that one for you. Michelle said she would go for it too, but she hasn't launched yet. That's interesting. I wonder why you haven't launched. Michelle, you've been around a while. Why haven't you launched yet? I'm curious to know why you haven't launched. She enrolled for the soap making program. Okay. All right. So have you got big ambitions, Michelle, for your business? She's got a full-time job. So is the idea to get out of your full-time job? Is that what you're planning to do? Because it's very hard to start a business when you've got a full-time job. You want to change that to a part-time job if you're serious about your business. I mean, this is something else that people tend to do. Look, everybody's got, I'm being might be sounding a bit glib here. We've all got different circumstances. Some of us are supporting kids on our own. All these things obviously come into play, and which is why I say that you have to look after your personal liabilities first if you hit any issues. But if you decide you want to do something, the guys that are going to succeed are the ones that really go for it. That is my experience of entrepreneurs anyway. Okay, so you have to kind of throw caution to the wind. And it might be that you set aside a pot of money and you say, I will invest X amount and then I won't invest any more, and that's fine. But you've also got to be really careful, because there are a million people out there that want to take your money off you. And some of them, in fact, the most interesting situation that I've found with clients is that the ones that haven't come to me and just spent money on some sort of marketing thing, it's often been vanity. So I had a client at one point who was approached by somebody who wanted to do an app for her business. This was in the very early days of apps. And they wanted to get her on some show. I can't remember. It wasn't really relevant. Or on telly, or it was something like that. And they really sold it to her like her name would be up in lights. And she bought into this and she spent a fortune on this thing. And so she ended up with an app and no business. You know, it was, and this happens a lot because you have to be savvy. So when I say spend on things, you as an entrepreneur have got to make a judgment call as to whether what's being offered to you is the right thing for you to spend money on, and what the return is going to be and how long. Yeah. Has anybody got any questions for me? What's the biggest worry that you've got around your business? Lisa?
I suppose if there's going to be, if it would sell my new product that we're thinking of.
What are you going to do to find out whether it will sell or not?
Obviously,
you need to find that out before you start spending money.
Yeah, I need to do the primary and secondary research again. I've been doing a lot of research reading, but I need to go out and find, ask people if they will use it or if they have used it. I've asked lots of people. A lot of people don't. So, but yeah.
A lot of people have said no, that they wouldn't use it.
Well, not that they wouldn't use what I'm talking about, but
they don't.
They don't at the moment.
No.
But that's because there's probably, like we've said, it's quite a big white space.
Yeah, I mean, do you perceive that as good or bad?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think it just needs to be more awareness to it. So I think through the wellness and what we're sort of targeting, I think it will be I think.
Do you want to tell people what's happened to the brand over the last few weeks?
Oh, we had a moment.
You don't want to at the moment?
No, let's see. Let's wait.
Okay. All right. Well, it's suffice to say we've done a big change of direction.
Yes.
I hope something good.
Yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
we're both quite excited about it, but it's a huge change.
Yeah, a huge change. Yeah. So I'm doing lots of research, like I say, but I was just trying to work out how and who to send my primary research out. Secondary, I've noticed there's really not a lot there. So
okay.
Yeah. But word of mouth seems to be popular, but it's just getting other statistics of getting the right questions out to just get the right answers, really.
Yeah.
But I think maybe people are opening up to it more so, and I think if it's sold well, I think definitely the market will get bigger and it'll be popular. Just being clever on the marketing.
You see, I've got absolutely no doubts at all.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's good.
But I haven't. I really haven't.
Oh, really? That's fantastic. And my friends are really excited as well. I'm really excited. And so my friends, they're really excited about it. I can't wait to get it out there.
We got you all wondering now what she's going to do, haven't we? We're not going to tell you.
No, not. Let's keep them on the hook.
But it's an instinctive thing, you know. I mean, yes, statistics are really important, you know, and you've got to listen to them because it's like, I say quite often that just because you like something, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to sell it. So you do need to check. But this is a big concept, and I think the concept is brilliant.
Yeah.
The individual products are something different. That's each one you've got to do that sort of work on. But the overall concept, I think, is a no-brainer.
Yeah. I had some great fun anyway. I'll send it to you. So yeah.
Khadija, where are you going to be this time next year?
Is that question sorry.
Hopefully I'll have more products, and my hero product will be out this time next year, and I'll be on Shopify.
Yeah. Okay, so what's holding that up?
Me, really, it's me, not more.
Why are you holding
I don't
that
have
up?
me. Okay, I can do the promo. I don't know what packaging to use. That's why I really wanted to see this packaging thing. I don't know what packaging to use, and then how it's going to be. You know, because the one I'm using, I bought it from Amazon. I don't think that's sustainable. Maybe I have to go to Alibaba or AliExpress to get something from there, you know. So it's really me. I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest, you know, with the packaging. That's what it is. The products officer, I can do that, you know, but it's the packaging that I'm having difficulty with. So maybe that's what I should work on in the new year.
You need a jar, don't you? You just need a jar, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
I don't think I need a. I wanted to do a tube, like a lipstick tube, but a better one. Because this one I'm doing with the lip balm, I noticed that it's the lip thing is too small. Like it will pop up. It will pop out. You know, I'm afraid that if somebody open it will just drop. I think the tube is too big. When I pour the lip thing inside the mold, when I do the mold and the lipstick don't correspond together. Yeah, so that's my issue with that one. So I have to look for something that's, if the manufacturer made the mold, then the lipstick tube will fit it, so it doesn't have to pop out. Like sometimes it will just drop. I'll be using it, even when I give to people, it will just come out, you know. So I don't want that, you know. I want to make sure.
So I'm going to make you a personal challenge that by the end of this month, I want to see your packaging. I want it to be a done job.
Okay.
All right. So you've got, and it's Christmas, so you haven't got that much time. But I want you to just focus on that, and then show us your packaging on the group.
Okay. Yeah, I have the Etsy shop open, you know, and I did 3 sales. You know, so.
Oh, great! You're getting sales.
Yeah. A lot of people are coming in, but they have it in their cart, but they're not like doing they're not purchasing yet, you know. But yeah, they also need to do more products. Yeah.
Okay. Just let me see your packaging. I want that done. That job done. And then you won't have that excuse.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right then. So anybody got any questions before I go and make myself something to eat? No? Michelle's saying she wants to learn. She okay. You would have learned a lot about branding and marketing and ready to launch. Okay, just one comment here, and that is that there's always more to learn. And be very careful that you don't become an eternal student. And the best way to learn is actually to get something out there.
I agree with you. It's one thing that is very overwhelming is how much information you have out there and how much you have, course, coaching, this, that, and you could spend the whole time not making any decision because you have so many options out there that sometimes it's very overwhelming. And what I've done lately is actually cutting some of the emailings so that I'm not feeling inundated, and I just go with one line of decision. And as you say, okay, at least I'll be able to start and learn along the way, but not be frozen at the beginning, not knowing where to look because there are too many options.
Yeah.
And
also, it's much easier to sit down with your head in a webinar than it is to actually be doing it.
Yes.
And again, I know several eternal students, and it really is about, it's about, as I said at the beginning, a lot of this is we're our own worst enemy, and we think we're doing something, but actually the only way to do something is to take action.
Yeah, that's the thing. Me too. I'll be taking so many coaching. I'm tired with that. I need to be doing something. No more. I'll figure it out on the way.
Okay. All right. Well, have a lovely evening, everybody.
Have a lovely evening.
Lovely to
And
see
I'm
you.
sorry about the packaging guy,
Julie.
but we'll get him next month.
Glad to see everybody. Hiya. I need some Instagram tutorial.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Take care.
Take care.
Alright,
Speak to you
bye-bye.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Lisa.
Bye.